Hello and welcome to SEHYOG 11 Plus Health Club Solution videos. In this video, we will review a subset of questions from NVR04 based on the topics shape sequence, shape addition and folding paper. So now let us look into some few examples under the topic folding paper. So in this sum or in this question, in question number 30, we see folding paper is basically just dividing the paper into two halves and folding and seeing it what will the first half or what will the other half of the paper will look like. So viewing sum number or question number 30, we see that here it is a diamond. So a diamond shape, when it is folded, as it has all equal sides, it will just look the same after folding the paper as well. So here our option, our B is definitely not our option because this won't be the figure at all. Neither is C, neither is D. Therefore making A our correct option here. Moving on to sum number 29 or question number 29. Here after we fold the paper, this dotted line, these dotted lines on the papers remark or denote the folding of the paper. After folding it, we will see that the white line is here and that the black line or the black circle will be right here. Therefore making D our correct option here. Because none of them do match. This is definitely not our correct answer. Neither is B, neither is C, because they are of the opposite colors, which is not possible. That won't happen here. So moving on to the further next question, that is example number 28. Here in this example we have a diamond again, divided or the folding of the paper demarcation, and then two circles, one white and the other is black. Now in this paper, after it is folded, we need to denote that what will the figure exactly look like among these four options. So by looking at the figure, it will be easy for us to say that it could be A. It is definitely not B and C, but then it could be A or D. So but it won't be A here. Why? Because the black circle is placed above, whereas in the figure on the left we see that the white circle will be here and that the black circle will come here. This will be our figure. So therefore A is not our correct answer, making D the right option here. Moving on to the next example, that is example number 23. Here there are two S's given with the folding of the paper note or the fold that is denoted. So after we fold the paper, as it is an S here, so after we fold the paper, it will be an inverted S here, right, like this, making B our correct answer. It will just be reflected. So therefore none of these are the option that we are looking for. Moving on to the next example, that is example number 22. Here we see that there are two black circles or dots on both the ends, on four different ends. So like the first half of the paper has two black dot on the right end, and then it is the same with the other half of the paper too. So when the page is folded, we will definitely get a figure of this sort, because after it is folded, this dot will come here and then this dot will come here. So therefore A is our correct option here, making none of them the correct fit. Moving on to our next topic, that is shape addition. Here in shape addition, we are given of two figures which after adding will give us one figure out of these 5 options, that is A, B, C, D and E. So let us now look into it. After merging the first figure and the second figure, we will get a figure somewhat like C. Why is it so? Because here what we will be looking into is the direction of the arrows. The direction of the arrows are this. It is in an anti-clockwise motion. So it is like moving in this way. This is the motion of the figure, the first figure. And the second figure is the arrows are facing this way. The first arrow here is facing the upward direction, and the second is not an arrow, but the second has a circle which is pointed towards the end. So now let us look here. The placement of the arrows in the circle is wrong. So therefore A is not our correct answer. For B, the arrow starting is from the midpoint of the pupil here, right here. So this is, and the arrow on B in the figure B should be here, not here. So therefore the placement of the arrow in figure B is wrong, therefore making B not the correct answer. In D, again, the pupil is faced in the wrong position. The positioning of the pupil is towards the end of the circle, whereas it is in the middle of the circle, therefore making it the incorrect answer as well. And E2, because the arrow should be starting from the pupil. So therefore C is our correct option here. Moving on to our next example, that is example number 19. Here this figure might seem a bit complex, but all we have to do is look at it carefully. So here we have a triangle with 1, 2, 3, 4 and then 5 and 6 lines. This is the figure right here. So let us look at the first, with this as the first figure, and the second one is 1, 2, 3, 4. Again it has a small triangle with a 4-sided figure. So therefore these are the two figures. Now we will be looking into the rest of the figures. Let us see which one is our correct answer. So how many lines did we count here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. And as we look at the figure here, it is 1, 2. So this is the first figure that we are denoting. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the second one, the 5 and 6, it should be a figure like this and not like this, therefore making A the wrong answer. For B, it is a completely different answer. By looking at the figure, we can say it is not the correct fit at all. So therefore we can strike B off. For C, let us see in C, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, the first figure matches, and the second figure is 1, 2, 3, 4. We get a triangle and this one, then 1, 2, 3. So this is a figure, and then this one is one extra line in C, therefore making C not the correct answer. D could be our answer, but let us look at E as well. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, and then here the line is too long, therefore E is not our correct option here, making D our right answer. Moving on to the next example, that is example number 18. Here this figure also might seem a bit complex, but then on looking at it carefully, we will notice that it is easier to solve. Okay, so in figure number 18, we see that these are two similar shapes but just colored or shaded differently. So A is wrong. Why? Because according to the first figure, the gray portions have white dot and no dot. So the gray portions have one white dot and here there is no dot. But then here in A, if we look at it, we have a black dot right here. Therefore, A is not our correct answer. Let us look at B. Okay, so B does have a white dot here, but then it does not have a black dot. So B is not our correct answer. And according to the second figure, it should be having only one black dot on the white surface, whereas they have two black dots. Therefore, B also not a correct answer. For D, again, D has a black dot here, so therefore no. And then in E, this is a wrong figure completely because it shows both the shaded portions have two different colors. So therefore no, making C our correct option here. In figure 17, now let us look at example number 17. Here there are two boxes with the arrow pointing towards the black box in the first figure, and in this one the arrow pointing towards the gray figure in the gray box in the second figure. So if we look at all the examples here, figure A, B and D are wrong because the first arrow is pointing towards the white boxes. So therefore they are not our correct answer and we can strike them off. And C too has the arrows facing towards the black, whereas here we saw one is facing towards black and one is facing away from black. Therefore C is also not our correct answer, making E the perfect fit here. Moving on to the next example, that is example number 16. Here in this figure, it is just a matter of triangles, but then it might seem a bit confusing too. So let us look at the rest of the figures. A is wrong because not the right size, the right size is not there according to the second figure. It is not of the right size. So therefore we can strike A off. And B, according to the first figure, the small line on the top, according to the first figure, the small line on the top should be slanting. It should be slanting. This one right here. It should be slanting, but then it is just straight. Therefore, B is wrong as well. C is completely a different figure. Like the second one can be marked correct, but then C is wrong. Why? Because the first figure is not correct. In the first figure, this line here is too much slanting. That is why C is wrong as well. E here is wrong because according to the second figure, the line should be slanting and not straight. Therefore, we strike off E, making D our correct answer here. Looking at figure number 15 now. Looking at it, we can say that B is wrong because there is space. There is no space in the second picture here. We can see, according to the second figure, there is no space, but then here they have given a space. So B is wrong. Let us look at C. For C here again it is wrong because it is completely a different figure, this one right here. Therefore no. For E, let us look at E here. For E again, the circles have been switched. No, they not actually have been switched, but then this circle right here, according to the first figure, it should have been white rather than black. So therefore making D our correct answer here as well. Now looking at figure number 13. Here, the example number 13 and our last sum for our last figure, or rather our last example under the topic shape addition. So here this figure also might seem a bit confusing because both are likely, but we need to look carefully at it in order to find out the correct answer. So here, after we look at it, we'll find that the lines here C and E are wrong as they have extra lines. Let us count at the number of lines. It is 1, 2, 3, 4. Similarly, 1, 2, 3, 4. And therefore, let us count the figures here. Therefore, by adding them, we should be having 8 lines in total in a figure. But here 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 9 lines in C, therefore no. And so in E as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 9 lines here. So therefore we strike off C and E. B and D are wrong as well, because according to the second shape, they do not match the figure according to the second shape. So yes, if we look at the second shape, no. In B also no. And so in D, because this is one extra line right here. So no, making A our correct answer as they are just 90 degrees clockwise rotated. They are just turned 90 degrees clockwise. Now moving on to our next topic, that is sequence, shape sequence. Now here we'll have to notice and identify the shape sequence that can be put within these 5 from these 5 options right here in this empty box. So let us look at example number 8. Here we'll first be looking at the directions of the figures. So the first figure is pointing left, the third one is right, the fourth one is up, and the fifth one is again left. So it's left, right, up, left. Therefore, we get a hint that our second figure will be pointing downwards, as that is the only direction that is left out of which and has not been used yet. And now, therefore, if we see that the colors of the figures, or rather the rotation. So, if we look at it carefully, we notice that figure 1, 3 and figure 1, 3 and figure 4 here are clockwise rotated. If we clockwise rotate them, so therefore after rotating it first we'll get after rotating it first we'll get this figure number 4 from here. If we rotate first, so this is the first one, and then if we come sideways down we'll get this, the figure 3. So therefore 1, 3 and 4 are in clockwise direction. Now if we look at the fifth figure, it is in the anti-clockwise direction in this one. So if we now rotate it furthermore, it will come down, it will shape downwards. Therefore only one of them matches with the black figure on the left. So therefore B is the correct answer here. I hope I could make y'all understand this one. So here therefore A is not our correct answer, neither is C, D nor E. Okay, moving on to the next example, that is example number 7. Here in example number 7, we can notice that the arrows pointed are in a complete circular motion. If we see, this goes down and then up and then up and then again down. This is the motion that has been repeated. So if this is down and this goes up and then again this goes in that motion, therefore we can notice that our fourth box will be having a motion like this. Then the second observation is that these squares, let us look at the squares. One is black outline, then again one is white outline, then again the third is black. Therefore this one should be again white, and so the fifth one here is black. So there will be a white box here, right here. And let us look at the star. It has a black star, then a white star, then again a black star. Therefore we'll have a white star here, then again a black star here. Therefore the only figure that matches the criteria required for the fourth box is the option C here, because the motion of the arrow is going down. We have a white box right here and so a white star right here. Therefore making C our correct option for this question. Moving on to our last sum for, or rather the last example for under this topic, shape sequence, is example number 5. Here this may seem like a maze, so therefore let us look at how does it goes. All the shapes rotate in an anti-clockwise and alternative white or black with each step. So all the shapes are rotating in an anti-clockwise direction. It is like this, then this, then this. Therefore, which one will we have as our fourth option? We will be having the dot that is from here, that is starting and going in this manner, the above portion, in that manner. And therefore it has, as told, as the observation says, white or black with each steps. So therefore the only criteria matching here is the figure E, because it has the anti-clockwise, the next dotted line that is supposed to be here on the top, and it matches the second criteria also, and alternate white and black with each step. So therefore making E our correct fit, striking off all the rest options according to our last sum. Thank you for watching this video. Hope it was helpful. Do not forget to subscribe SEHYOG 11 Plus Help Club YouTube channel for future videos. Thank you.